Women's college basketball. LSU versus Iowa. Clark versus Angel Reese. The controversy, the you can't see me. The stalking. One wins a national title, and the other, who didn't, is women's best player. I'm Jazz Borgonzo, and this is what's next. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Jazz Borgonzo, what's next? Your daily dose, of course, as always, common sense, facts, and salt. The world of women's college basketball. Now, this may be the first time ever that I'm doing a video regarding women's college basketball. But, of course, this March Madness was a very, very interesting one. You had women playing, like I say, exceptionally well across the board. But there were standouts. Iowa and LSU. LSU, whose star player, who nobody ever heard of until 2 weeks ago, Angel Reese. You had Iowa in Caitlin Clark, I think that is her name, just to make sure I didn't butcher it. She is women's basketball's #1. She's considered the Larry Bird of college basketball because A, she's got the skills, and B, she can talk it, and of course, she can walk it. But with all that, the controversy occurred between these two players. One player decided to do, hey, I'm going to do a John Cena, and you can't see me. And the other player decided to taunt her and stalk her in the championship game, which, of course, LSU did win. But no one cares about the national title. They only care about these two players and what went down. I know I'm a little bit late to this, but I'm going to throw my 2 cents in anyway. Let's take a look. This comes out of Outkick. How the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark publicity is great for women's basketball, Clay Travis. Women's college hoops ended with a bang after a widely watched 9.9 million finale between LSU and Iowa. The March Madness championship game featured women's college basketball's best player, Caitlin Clark, not only becoming a spike in the popularity for the game, it produced several storylines to watch into next season. On Tuesday's Outkick, Clay Travis discussed how the buzzing feud between Clark and LSU forward Angel Reese is good publicity for women's basketball, while top players should want to play with Clark, a college hoop phenom, and how should the season tip off next year to keep the momentum going. We'll listen to that in just a little bit. The women's championship game between LSU and Iowa drew 9.9 million people, the biggest viewership in well over a decade for women's college basketball, which, by the way, is better than the trash that's going on in the WNBA. No offense. Now, to be fair, this aired on ABC, which has relatively never occurred before the women's championship game, at least what he's aware of. Broadcast television's biggest audience ever for a women's basketball game. I said decade. Okay, it turns out to be ever. Wow. Credit the continued fallout of the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese drama, the You Can't See Me trash talk. Caitlin Clark went on ESPN today and said, I don't think Angel should be criticized at all, no matter how it goes. She should never be criticized for what she did. I compete. She competed. It was super, super fun game. Great attitude. I think that's what's going on to bring more people into the game. Again, direct quote from Caitlin Clark, this is great. Conflict is good. Conflict creates eyeballs. True, true, and true. Just go on Twitter any day. We go from that in relative to this. Of course, this is also from Outback. This is regarding LSU's title win that most people were like, they actually won a title? Yeah, exactly. But I just chose this part to make a point. LSU's Angel Reese was out of line with Iowa's Caitlin Clark. Now, you got to have those on one side who are saying, hey, you know what? She did the same thing as Caitlin Clark in regards to the, the trash talking. But it seems that Angel Reese is getting slammed for it because of, quote, she's from the hood. She doesn't fit the box. She's not checking boxes off, while Caitlin Clark happens to be white because it's 2023 and everything is racist. Mulkey, the coach of the LSU, should have apologized to Clark for LSU's guard Angel Reese's behavior at the end of the game. Reese repeatedly taunted Clark with "can't see me" hand motions by pointing to her finger where the national championship ring will go. Now, to make a point, and also context, Caitlin Clark was doing the "you can't see me" to an assistant coach and not to an individual player. Makes a big difference. But these days, it's all about my feelings and not about the facts. Excuse me, sorry about that. Clark trash talk during games. Clark trash talks during games too, particularly recently. During Iowa's 97-83 Elite 8 win over Louisville last week, Clark told Louisville Haley Van Lith, "You're down by 15 points. Shut up." Comparing Caitlin Clark's with Angel Reese's taunts. Here we go. Clark also waved off the South Carolina player when she chose not to defend her and was gesturing to the Gamecocks bench. She did the "can't see me" gesture during the LSU game too, but it was a general gesture, not to an individual player. And Clark's antics were during games. Reese was clearly out of line because she did it in the final seconds of the game afterwards. No technical fouls. Fight tends to start after games as much as during. Clark's taunts were quick in general. Reese's last one was aimed specifically at Clark and lasted about 20 seconds. There is a difference. Reese was worse. That was the only stain on an otherwise perfect night for the Tigers. The game was over. LSU had a long, comfortable lead, and Clark was clearly submissive and beaten. Reese's taunts were excessive, and she deserved a technical foul. But Reese looked immature, pointing her finger, and took away from the team's accomplishment. That's the key. It had a junior high na-na-na-na ring to it. You're better than that, Angel. Caitlin Clark was just trying to shake hands. Meanwhile, looked like the professional in defeat by the end, and she took the higher road, unlike Reese. "I was just trying to get a handshake in line and be grateful to the team that was in position," Clark said. "That's all you can do is hold your head high, be proud of what you did, and just trying to spend the last few moments on the court with 5 people who started 93 games with and relishing every second of that." Reese, on the other hand, went over the top diatribe after learning she was getting ripped on Twitter, and deservingly so. Angel Reese's comments. "I don't care about anybody else or what they have to say about me," she said. "The biggest goal for me is not the national championship. I don't care to be All-American. I don't care to be Defensive Player of the Year. That went to Vanderbilt, Liam Robbins. Or Player of the Year. That went to Clark by the Associated Press, Naismith, and the USBW Association." Sounds like you care about that, Angel. You listed 2 of the awards that you didn't get. You sound jealous of Clark, who is better than you. She is. She is the game's best player. Not by much, but she is. You may be better than her next year. Maybe. So act like a national champion that you are, and I'm betting Mulkey tells you something like that. Froggy. My thoughts. I didn't really get into a whole situation between Reese and Clark until literally last night when I was watching Jason Whitlock on his show Fearless in regards to the controversy. I saw one player in a handshake get hit, and of course that wasn't Caitlin Clark. That was another player, and of course I'm right now the name is escaping me. But at the end of the day, LSU wins the national title. So instead of celebrating the national title as a team, all the focus is on Angel Reese because of her comments. So she said during an interview after the game that she didn't fit the box. She was too hood. So this is for little girls who look like me. While Caitlin Clark said, "Hey, it was a great game. We lost. I'm proud of our players. I can't wait till next season." Notice the difference. Even though after losing, she didn't focus on me. She didn't focus on this. She focused on the team. While Angel Reese said, "Hey, me. Oh, and by the way, we won a national title." Just saying. I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is what's next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it, hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. And of course, we'll see you next time. Peace.